What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we are checking out the Diablo Sport InTune 3 tuner with the ECM and TCM unlock, fitting all 2019 through 2021 and 2022 LTD V8 Silverado 1500s. Now, if you want more than basic throttle response or standard performance out of a tuner kit, this kit is going to provide that and provide all the tools necessary to unlock the hidden potential of your Silverado. Now, this will come with tunes, the ability to adjust, and much more, allowing you as the Silverado owner to ditch the heavy factory limitations and actually customize your setup to benefit your lifestyle, like getting some extra power for tough towing applications or a more responsive and quick feeling for the V8 for everyday driving. Now, the tuning aspect of this kit is the biggest feature here, with a throttle controller setting to increase the responsiveness, 3 preloaded tunes for 87, 91, and 93 octane levels, and 2 transmission tunes so you can bump up the performance and get more power out of your V8. Now, along with the tunes, this will also have a list of adjustable parameters so you can fine-tune your speedometer for larger tires, calibrate your speedo for your gearing, remove the speed limiter for a higher top speed, and adjust the rev limiter and engine idle whenever you want to. Now, we'll also allow different settings like the ability to disable the dynamic fuel management system, keep auto start stop, and keep drive mode settings to eliminate any resets to those 2 features for the next time that you start your truck. Now, you can also do all the basics as well, like data logging, reading trouble codes, and clearing CELs or check engine lights, all while being 50 state legal. Now, this kit will physically come with the Diablo InTune 3 tuning device, which is a handheld tuner with a full color touchscreen and built-in harness. Now, it will be incredibly easy to navigate, download, and update what you need onto your Silverado, and it is going to be easily updatable with the hardware provided in the kit. Now, because the Silverados are on the tougher side to unlock, Diablo has included the locksmith device and the harnesses to unlock both the ECM and the TCM in your truck. Now, those wires and devices will have OE-style plugs and will allow a seamless install process so you can reap all the benefits of tuning your truck without the barriers that the factory has put in the way. Now, this kit is about $775, which is on the pricier side of the page, but for good reason, considering that this is going to come with everything that you need to unlock your ECM and TCM to allow tuning to even be possible with your truck. Now, it's also going to bring more to the table than some entry-level tuners, and it doesn't go over the top with a big display or additional accessories if you want the requirements to tune your truck and don't want anything too flashy. Install will be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. For full setup, it should take about 15 minutes or so. And speaking of the install, one of our customers here has installed this on their Silverado and is going to walk you through how you can get all of this installed on yours at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
Hi, welcome. Today we're going to be installing the Diablo Sport i3 tune into my 2021 6.2 liter Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Trail Box. The Diablo Sport i3 tune is designed to be installed in 2019 later Chevy Silverado GMC Sierra 5.3 liter and 6.2 liter gas engines. Before we get started, let's take a look at everything we're going to need. Right here we have our Diablo Sport i3 tuner. We have our ECM and TCM unlock cables. We have our, right here, our locksmith. Actually, make sure it's disconnected. And then we also have our T15 Torx bit, a flathead screwdriver, and then we'll need a 10mm socket ratchet. Let's get started. We're going to take our programmer first thing. We're going to go connect this up to the OBD port on the inside of the truck. Once we're connected here, this is going to start to turn on, power on. Our first step is to make sure we're connected to Wi-Fi. We need to make sure that the software in the Diablo Sport is completely up to date. Otherwise, we might have some issues later down the road. So we're just going to let this load up, power up. Read the terms and conditions here. We're going to go to our settings. We're going to go to Wi-Fi configuration. We're going to go Wi-Fi setup. And then we're going to wait for this to load. Takes a little bit of time. We know the button's been pressed and it's just loading when we get the auditory feedback. So at this point, I'm going to select my Wi-Fi and enter my password. We're going to let this load, and then it's going to let us know if our connection is successful. We are successful, so we're going to press yes to check for updates. You know, I'm actually going to press no because it's going to have us check for updates in a second. We'll go to the main menu. We need to attempt to install the tune. We're not going to be able to because the ECM and TCM are currently locked. We're going to hit Tune Vehicle. We need to make sure the key is in the run position. So we're going to press and hold our Start Engine button for 8 to 10 seconds. If you don't press and hold it, it'll put it in either start the engine or put it into accessory mode, which we do not want. Okay, we're going to hit Continue. All right, we're just going to hit our Easy Tune. Do the 93 octane tune. At this point, it's going to just keep selecting yes. Select our transmission tune, standard tune. We'll just hit economy for this. Keep selecting yes. One of the main reasons we're doing this right now is it's going to create a backup of the vehicle. So if we do need to revert back to our factory tune, we're able to. Original backup, it's reading it. And now it's going to read and store our TCM. Important to make sure your vehicle's battery is completely charged, otherwise you will have issues. Install this tune, we can hit yes. We can hit yes. Gonna attempt to see what happens. It won't let us because we need to unlock it. So it says here to install it right now, we need to begin to do that. So we're gonna hit continue. And I think we're gonna get the exact same reading. Great. At this point, we're going to give it just a few seconds to make sure it's not doing anything else, but it's going to be now time to go and unlock the ECM and the TCM. We can check for updates. It should have done that, but check for updates. Make sure all our bases are covered here. See here, it just said our please wait. It's just loading while it's checking. No updates available. Excellent. We've done everything we need to do at this point. We are now clear to unplug this, and we're going to turn our engine off. We're now going to head over and gain access to the ECM and the TCM. This is where our T15 Torx bit comes into play. The ECM and TCM are located underneath this felt wheel well liner. It's important that you move the tire out of the way, so turn the wheel all the way to the left and then back it off a little bit. If it's cranked too hard to the left, it can put it into a no start mode and you're not going to be able to start the vehicle. So crank to the left, back it off a little bit. We're going to remove 8 of these T15 Torx bolts in here. We're going to set these 8 away. Now we're able to gain access to our ECM. Pull this out of the way here. And these are going to be the cables that we need to disconnect. There's 3 of them here. The top one is gray, the bottom one's blue, and those are the ones that we're going to be replacing. You can see there's these 3 locking tabs in here that we need to unlock in order to remove this. So we're going to get our flathead screwdriver, I'm gonna pop these out. Might be a little tricky for you to see this here, but oh, wait, that one's unlocked. Yeah, these are all unlocked, and then we're gonna pull this back and towards me. Just like there, 1, 2, and 3. At this point, we're able to remove these. They just wiggle out, so you can use both hands. Just wiggle them out. 2. And then we just have the bottom one left. 3. So these 3 are disconnected. Be careful with them, but just kind of get them out of the way here. We're going to get our ECM unlock cables. This is the one that has the 2 connectors. If we look here, we have a gray connector here and a blue connector here. We can see in here that we have a blue connector at the bottom and a gray connector at the top. We're just going to pop these right where the other ones were. And then that'll just close back up until you hear the click. Then we'll lock that red tab. We're going to do the same thing with this bottom blue tab. I'll make a little bit of room in here without doing any damage. We'll do it on there. And again, that's just going to lock into place here. There we go. Till you hear the click, lock it up, and then down here is where we're going to connect our locks. At this point, we're going to go inside, open the hood. We're going to take our power. These are positive and negative battery cable terminals. We're going to just route it right up here. We're going to put it right in this sliding tab. We're going to go positive and negative to the bolt, or our terminal here. Make sure you don't put it onto one of the bolts in there because they do have a coating that sometimes can mess that up and not get a good connection. We'll now take our locksmith. We're going to plug this connection into the back here. Plug it in. We are now okay to take our programmer and connect the OBD port plug-in to the locksmith. Once we're connected, we'll see that we gain power to our programmer. Just let it load up. Accept the terms. And we're going to hit Tune Vehicle. Continue. From here, it'll just walk us through everything we need to do. Ready to begin unlock process. It may take up to 20 minutes and only needs to be performed once per control unit. We're ready to begin. Depending on the make and model of your vehicle, depends on how long this takes. While this is working, we can talk about what our next step is going to be. Once our ECM is unlocked, we're going to do the same thing to our TCM. Our TCM, I'm going to do this, set that right out of the way, is actually located right behind the ECM. And we're going to gain access to it with 3 bolts. One here, one right over here, and then the third one is right underneath. These are 10mm bolts. As soon as that's removed, this whole piece will just kind of swing over, and there's a single connection that is just like these 3 that we removed, and we'll end up using our TCM unlock cable for that. As you can see, it is processing and loading here. We're going to wait to remove these 3 bolts until we're done with this process, because we're going to have to disconnect these 2 cables and then reconnect the factory cables before moving on. And if we take those bolts out, it'll be swinging and we're not going to be able to unplug and replug everything, and don't want to damage anything. We're moving steadily along here. This Diablo Sport i3 tuner is one of the few tuners that you're able to unlock the TCM and ECM here in your driveway. Most other tunes, you'd have to remove this and then send it in and have a different company unlock. So this really is a great kit that doesn't take very long to install. All right, so we just received notification that our ECM is unlocked and we no longer require this cable to be able to modify or add tunes to this. So we are now going to repeat our steps. We're going to unplug our cables, our unlock cables from the ECM, and then we're going to replug in our factory cables, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to start here. We're going to disconnect our locksmith. We'll set this down to the side. At this point, we're just going to go and do the same thing we did before. Unlock. And unlock. There we go. Now we're just going to pop these off. One. There we go. So we no longer have any use for these unlocking cables, so we're going to set these to the side, and then I'm going to just reinstall our factory blue to blue, gray to gray, black to black, blue to blue. Black to black. Make sure we hear the click. Gray to gray. And make sure our locking tabs are back. In the locked position. And we're good to go. Now we need to access the TCM. So to do this, we're going to remove these 2 bolts, and there's one more bolt right underneath here. For this, I have a socket adapter here with a 10mm socket. Just going to loosen it. 2. Put it on the side. And 3 bolts. At this point, we should now be able to rotate this over. And we just need to access this plug right here. This is going to be our TCM, just on the other side of it. So we will repeat our steps. Remove this plug, pop the red, depress the black while pushing it forward. And this is going to disconnect. Leave that there. At this point, we'll take our TCM cable, just one plug, and we're going to put it right where the other one was. Make sure we hear the click. Depress the red tab. And now we have these cables. We're going to hook these up to power. You know, bring this up. Ground. And we're going to go and take this and we'll plug in our locksmith into power here. I'm going to disconnect our OBD for the time being. Up and over this way. We'll get this plugged in. Plug the locksmith in backside just like we did before. And now we are able to connect our OBD connection here. Now that that's connected, this is going to power on. Stand over here. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before with unlocking this. So we're just going to let this load up here. Got a little bit of bad weather out here. Okay. Agree to the terms. We'll hit tune vehicle. We are making sure the key's in the run position. We're just going to let it load up here. Press yes. It's ready to begin the unlocking process. I'm just going to set it right there. Oh, it's unlocking, it's applying. Unlocking complete. That was a lot faster than the ECM. I do believe now that the unlocking is complete. Let me give it a few minutes here. Unlock done. So we're now done with this. So we can hit continue. And we're now just going to do the same exact thing that we just did, just in reverse here. So we can now disconnect this. So we now just need to revert this back to where it was before. It is connected to our unlocking cable, so we need to reverse that. We have power to the vehicle right now, which we don't want to have because we don't want these connections to be, it'll throw some error codes. I'm going to just disconnect my battery just to ensure that we don't have any power to there. And then we're going to take this, undo the tab, press the black button, pull it towards me. This will come undone. There we go. We have this disconnected. We'll set all of this over here to the side. Reconnect our factory TCM connection. Till we hear a click. And you lock that bed tab. And then this is good. So we're now just going to switch this back to where it was. All of our connections are in place. We can now put these bolts back to where they were. We have 3 of them. Go in the same order I took them out. First one's down under. There we go. And then either side of this, I'm going to do the close one. One. And get this out of the way. Okay, that is locked and in place. My connections are remade. I'm going to reconnect the battery. Okay, there we go. I no longer need to Make sure this is tight. Good. That's not going to go anywhere. Close that. We can shut our hood. Now we're just going to take our programmer, disconnect it from the locksmith. Everything, ECM and the TCM are unlocked. So we should be good to now install a tune. We'll go inside here. We're gonna do the same thing, put it in run mode. So we're just gonna hold it 8 to 10 seconds. All right, and we're gonna hook up to our OBD port. It should provide power. We still need to put all of our T15 Torx screws back into the felt wheel well liner, but I'm going to do that in just a second once the tune gets going. Yes. Now we'll moment of truth, tune vehicle, continue. Easy tune. 93 octane fuel. We're gonna hit yes. Use this selected tune. Continue. Let's install our standard tune. Let's just do economy. Gonna read the backup. Getting backups at both the ECM and the TCM in case we have any issues later on. We can revert to that backup. Diablo tune. Install this tune. We're gonna press yes. Yes. While it does this, well, it's moving quick. While it's doing this, we're going to go install our felt wheel well liner here. I'm going to set this to the side. And we have all 8 of our T15 Torx screws here. I'm just going to get one started right here because that seems like a good starting point. Back here. And we have one more right here. There we go. We have everything back to where it needed to be. Let's see where we're at. Please turn ignition off. Do not start the engine. Okay. There we go. Turn the ignition off, hit continue. Please turn ignition on. Do not start the engine. I'm going to go to the run position. Again, 8 to 10 seconds. Okay, let it continue. Turn the engine off. We will hit continue. We'll turn the engine on, hold for 8 to 10 seconds. We're going to hit continue. We're now writing the tune and installing it. Hopefully, this is the last step. You may now unplug the tool and enjoy driving your vehicle.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the Diablo Sport InTune 3 tuner with the ECM and TCM unlock, fitting all 2019 through 2021 and 2022 LTD V8 Silverado 1500s. And you can find this kit right here at AmericanTrucks.com.